Hi, I'm John. I talk shit on the internet about guns.
What up, YouTube family? It's me, your boy Heavy. Look, before we get into this next podcast, please hit that like and subscribe button real quick, real fast, so I can get these numbers up and we can catch that algorithm. So let's get into the show. Peace. What up, though, everybody? This is your boy Heavy with another episode of the Pop Culture 223 podcast. Today, I got another celebrity on the show, man. Listen, I'm trying to level up this year. Me and Bear is trying to level up the podcast. Like, we trying to bring you new and fresh guests with new and fresh conversations. So I'm going to let this dude introduce himself.
Hi, I'm John. I talk shit on the internet about guns. No, my name's John Patton. I run the Gun Collective. By the way, Ken Scott, great guy. Really love Ken. He's super, super smart. Really, really good on camera too. Like that dude, when you put a camera on him and say like, "Hey, explain whatever the fuck you're talking about," so good, so good. So that's cool. I'm glad you had Ken on. He's a good dude. Yeah, I'm here. I've been doing TGC, and we're going to talk about. I don't know, what are we going to talk about. By the way, I think if your name is Heavy, then my name should be really heavy.
So, one of the funny things when we talking to Ken, like some of my homies call me Heavy, like Heavy D. I don't know if you go with the hip hop slang, but if you
Dude,
look
I'm
at old
41. I get it. Heavy D and the boys. Come on,
right? So listen,
you kind of got that vibe a little bit.
little bit. Okay, so we could kick the little hip hop. All right, you 41. We all in the same age bracket. So if you look at some of the younger pictures of Ken, he look like Al B. Shore. bro look like Al B. Shore, bro. And I was like,
Dude.
listen, we got R&B right here. Me and you. I'm
Right.
Heavy. You Al B. Shore. But it was a dope conversation, man. Look, as soon as you turn the camera on, can't get to spitting. And sometimes you probably got to put a slow down button, like stop, let me ask a question. Because you just keep going and going and going. But it was cool for me to interview him because, like I said, I'm new to the interviewing platform. Sure. And just to have, and I know you know this, it's hard to, not hard, but if you got a good guest, it's a good conversation. Sometimes it's hard to draw conversations out of people to get good
some
content.
people are terrible at it. Yeah, there are people in this industry that are very, very bad at taking questions and having a conversation. That's a topic for another day, I suppose. But
right,
yeah,
and I told Ken one thing I loved about it, like you said, regardless if you give him a manual, because he's a car guy too. I heard you a car guy. I looked at,
yes,
I did some research, but you will. I'm from Detroit, right? So we Motor City Muscle, Mustangs, Chargers, all that. So the cars y'all were talking about were like you and whiskey. What is it? Whiskey and Windage guys.
Oh yeah.
The what I think one of them super sports cars, whatever. But
yes.
Whatever you give Ken to explain, he's gonna explain it where you can actually consume it. It is not too high tech, and it's not over your head. It's right on the point. So you know what I'm saying. That was a good thing. So let's talk about your platform, man, because you got a lot of stuff going on. Let's talk about why you started the Gun Collective.
Well, I had a YouTube channel prior to the Gun Collective called Chaos 311 Clarity, and that was kind of just something that sort of happened over time. It was never like I didn't start it and be like, I'm going to be a gun guy. Like that was never the thing, because I had some car stuff on there. And I think I started my first gun review was like 2011, something like that, I think. And it was god awful. It was an absolutely terrible thing. And then I started to get some experience, made some better videos, and started to learn the ins and outs of the industry a little bit. And at a certain point, I actually wanted to just quit altogether in like late 2014. I think I was kind of done. And then I had some opportunities come my way, and a couple friends of mine helped me put together what is now TGC. And I was like, you know what? We're going to do this. It's a completely different, I guess, type of content. TGC News, there was nothing like it at the time that had any production value. Any attempt at doing news was a little bit flat. So we saw that as an opportunity and just kind of ran with it. And now here we are almost 10 years later. It'll be 10 years later in June of this year. Um, I've got a career still. It's fucking shocking.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what's funny about that? I was like that too, because I had a brand called Heavy Metal Lifestyle, and I started it
Okay.
probably about 7 or 8 years ago. And the reason I created the brand was because I felt like I wasn't the culture, our culture, blacks weren't real represented in the 2A space as far as gear and clothes. And I like to kind of wear
Sure.
my own stuff, my own style. So I was like, look, I'm not for the military because all the clothes was like 511, 9 lines, a bunch of different brands that was in
Bro
there. But I
vet
was like,
stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to wear something that represented me, where I came from. So that's why I kind of started Heavy Metal Lifestyle. It was like taking culture and gunpowder, putting it together, streetwear, and then boom, make some clothes. Make some cool shirts and cool stuff like that. So that's kind of
Sure.
how it started. And then I thought, like I told homeboy, I thought black owned businesses. Once I hashtag black owned business on all my t-shirts, I thought I was gonna be a millionaire. That didn't work. That
If
didn't
only
work.
it were that simple,
It
right?
only if it was that simple. So that didn't work
You
right.
know how that would make you $1,000,000 is if you convinced white women that it was the thing to support that week. They bounce around quite a bit, but they would have,
Well,
hashtag whatever the fuck, they'll jump on it.
right. Hashtag help a brother out, and then they probably bought they probably would've bought a million shirts. But
Hmm.
in that realm, kind of switching gears, I kind of got into like I always was a content creator. I always liked making content and being cool with stuff and not being kind of like the prototypical what you see online and Instagram and all
Right.
that. I was, me and the homies always crack jokes coming up, and if we had a camera, we would probably be millionaires right now because we did a lot of crazy, stupid shit back in the
Dude, I would
day.
be in fucking prison.
Right, that's what I said. I'll probably be expelled, all kind of crazy stuff. But I was like, man, it's I got my homeboy always tell me, man, it's cool to be goofy and be yourself and authentic online. And the first time I seen you was like 60-second gun review, 60-second gun review, and that's like, dog, what is this dude talking about? So I always watched it. I don't care what it was. I was like, I gotta hear what he's about to say because everything is like 60-second gun review. I'm like, okay, he got my attention. What we talking about? And that's how I got hit with the gun collector thing. So
Well, I
it
appreciate that, man. I'm glad it worked. Goal accomplished. I got some
well
new
you
followers.
right, you said, people attention span is short. So
Right,
that
right.
that all in
And people
itself.
really like me talking shit about gun companies.
And
People really enjoy that.
right, because you the guy that can say stuff that other people can't say.
I mean,
I guess
anybody can say it.
well,
I just say stuff that people are less likely to say. The stuff that they're thinking, I'll say it. I don't give a shit. I stopped
well,
caring a long time ago.
and like you said, the production value and the way you start doing your shows, what gave you like the idea to do that? Because I guess you were saying like the other stuff that was in the industry wasn't really, it was what, just flat, and you're like, I need to throw some SNL on this or throw some salt on the game, or just like to change it because it was no flavor in the game back in the day. I can say that.
Yeah, I agree to a certain extent. I mean, there's always been good content creators out there. The thing that has always been a guiding principle for me is to try to be myself the whole time. And it's not. I'm not perfect. This is not like 100% me. Like, yeah, I switch it on a little bit, but the opinions and the shit talking and just poking fun and laughing at my own jokes, that's me. I'm just an idiot on the internet. I just happen to find a way to make money doing it.
Right. And yeah. Well, I know. But let me ask you this: what? And I know you're talking about this, and I know I seen the post you put up about the YouTube thing. What's been some of the hurdles, especially in the social media platform,
Oh,
that
sure.
y'all had to like overcome starting the channel, or the whole the gun collective.
I think the biggest hurdle has been being stifled by, I hate these terms, these like terms that are beat to death, but big tech censorship and shadow banning and all those sorts of things. Those have always been a problem because I feel like I have another channel that is related to my travels and my I built a sprinter. I was building out a sprinter van, and that channel gets so much more uh, like it's less suppressed, I should say, for its size. That channel has less than 5,000 subscribers. So by comparison, it is easier for that to grow and make money and do all that sort of stuff just on YouTube versus TGC that is I'm constantly fighting them to get full monetization and show my videos to more people and all that kind of stuff. So it's like the normal hurdles of being a content creator are just amplified by that. And the same thing goes for Facebook and Instagram and all the whatever other platforms are out there. It's the same. It's just a different logo on the front.
One thing I can say I don't like is when you look at the other like TikToks and Instagram, they'll show you all the, let's say, naked ladies or some crazy stuff. But when it
Sure.
comes to like education and all that, they just, you know what I'm saying? They kind of like don't even show it. Even
Well,
like
it's not brain rot. You know what I mean? They want
right.
you to be on the platform as long as you can. And if you're educated and thinking for yourself, you may leave and go do something and create something special for yourself. So that gives them opportunity to get you off the platform. And they don't want that. They want you on your phone all day, every day.
Right, and I'm just like, man, listen, you start looking at stuff on your algorithm, you start seeing all this stuff. Like, okay, I looked at it once. I don't want to keep seeing this, this thing, and they think that you're telling to it. But how do you stay above the curve when it comes to something like that? Do you think that the second platform with you and your van helps bring more brings more viewership to your channel?
To
Does it help?
TGC,
Yeah.
or so there is almost no connection between the two.
But when
I
they see
don't.
you on there, they know who you are, I guess, so to
No,
speak.
I mean, I would say that most people don't.
Okay.
I would say that most of the people that are exposed to that type of content have no idea who I am, which is fine. That's what that channel's for. It's totally different. It's supposed to be separate from the gun stuff, because it's an opportunity for me. Like if the gun shit just comes crashing down, then I have a backup, at least a little bit, you know?
A little bit of yourself still out there, right?
Yeah. Like I have another opportunity that I'm slowly building for myself. So that's more about what that's about rather than trying to suck people into TGC. Um, I don't know. There's no like magic thing for me in terms of growth. It's just trying to make the best videos I can and trying to be as authentic as I can and cover whatever is new. And if that grows, cool. It's been slow, but over the years, but it's still growing for sure.
So what, like over the years, what has been your probably your funnest thing like to cover? Like it could be guns, it
Oh,
could be
jeez.
in this space. Just like what's the funnest thing, like, man, that was some dope stuff.
I have had countless incredible opportunities. I mean, I was one of the first people to do a video tour of the new Daniel Defense facility when they opened it up.
Oh,
They
okay.
brought me down there and said, "Hey, come on, check it out. Let's do a video tour of it." And I've had a lot of opportunities like that where, for whatever reason, I get lumped in with like gun writers. And I was invited to an event with Loophole, and I went to tour that facility, and I was the only YouTube type guy there. And they may have done that since then, but at the time it was kind of rare for somebody like me to be involved in that. And I feel like those types of things are really cool. I've been to some amazing places. I've been had hunting opportunities. I've shot almost every gun you can think of. With only a few exceptions, I have shot just about everything out there, and I love every bit of it. It's all cool because it's different experiences. I've met some incredible people, forged friendships that will hopefully last as long as I do, and it's been incredible as a whole. being my own boss is, I say this all the time, it is the most difficult thing and the most rewarding at the same time.
Yeah, because I work a regular 9 to 5, then I kind of come home and start, doing this, doing interviews, sending out messages, see if I can get somebody on, creating
Sure.
content. That's like a full this worse than a regular job. At least I go
Hmm.
in,
Oh
punch the
yeah,
clock, and I'm out. I come home and I've got to be up another 4 or 5 hours, creating content. But it's cool. I love doing it. Like regardless if when the show grows and everything else, I still like creating content. So that's
that's
just
great.
another. But I know you've been in the game for a long time,
It's
and
true.
I know at some point I heard you talk about you had a couple of panels, and it was called the Gold Panel. What was it? Was it the Gold Panel or was
The
it at
TGC
GunCon?
panel.
Yeah, when they were talking about diversity, you had a panel with a bunch of different people up there, speakers, in that. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I mean, I've done a lot of different panels. So there is. I started something that I believe was pretty new to the gun industry, because create content creation was like, YouTubers and all that. That was new. So I want to say it was 2015. It was about the same year that TGC started. Um, I started the TGC panel event, and it wasn't called that at first. And we used to bounce around with the NRA annual meeting. So I would follow them to whatever city they were in and like rent out a space and have a few content creators. And then we would just be on stage for hours and hours and hours, just answering questions from the audience. We would have a bunch of brands come in and show off their products. And that kept growing every year. Every year was bigger, better, different, evolving. And then a few years ago, I got with the then title sponsor, Brownells, and we decided to actually grow the event beyond that, to something. I said, I want to do something bigger. They said, well, come do it here. So we did it in Iowa for the last 3 years, and that became what is now known as GunCon. And we have Q&A panels all day during that event. This year, there'll be 3 of them. There's the Second Amendment panel, the Next Gen Creator panel, and the Elite panel, which is like, the guys that have been around a while. And I've also hosted things like, I think what you were talking about is the stuff I did at Goals, that's GOA's event. That's in Knoxville, again this year. And I hosted one with a bunch of my creator buddies, and I also hosted the diversity panel. I think is what, I don't remember what they actually called it, but I hosted that too. Hosting is very natural for me,
Right.
so I like doing it, and getting out there and having fun, talking to people. It's great.
Cussing at people. I heard you say you like you
I do
cuss.
that all the time. Yeah,
so
yeah,
so after the gun collective was brought up, and then GunCon came from all those. So let's talk about a little about GunCon. Like, what is it? Because this
sure.
is I seen it. I didn't get into it last year. The homeboy Arm Atlas, Aaron, he put like, man, you got
Oh,
to get
Aaron's
in this.
great.
You got to get there. You got to come. You got to come. He's been helping me a lot with the podcast, with with the just creating this everything. I got a couple of good dudes that are helping me. See what I'm trying to do and actually putting in some great feedback. And he's one of them. And he told me, look, don't miss out on this. You got to go. I said, bro, it's in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm in Detroit. I can make that one happen. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
easy.
It's a hop, skip, and a jump. So let's talk about GunCon because people know about it and some people don't. And I was like, some of my
Sure.
homies, I was like, yeah, I'm going, check out GunCon. They're like, what is that? I was like, man, you don't know about the 60-second gun review guy? They do GunCon. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how, they're like, you going to GunCon? What is that? Comic book? I'm just like, bro, y'all dress up. Here come the jokes. Yeah, I'm going as Shaft, the Black John Wick, all that
Dude,
good
I would
stuff.
fucking love it if you showed up like that.
So yeah, they talk about GunCon and why you
I'm gonna go
created
dress
it.
as Pootie Tang. How about
Yeah.
that?
Oh, bro, listen, listen, listen.
Sarate.
Shout out to for the titty pot on the pity pat. Listen, man, a lot of people don't know about Pootie Tang. That's one of the best and stupidest ass movies ever. But you gotta
I
have it in the
know.
Rolodex, bro.
That shit is
And
fucking
I'm gonna
amazing.
get you, sucker. Hey, all Pootie Tang, I'm gonna get you, sucker. They all go together. But City Town or Tippy Town, right? But go ahead and talk about GunCon.
So GunCon is again, it's an evolution of events, and I tried to pull from the various types of events that I've been to. I've been to, I don't know, hundreds at this point. Whether it's like a full-on trade show like SHOT Show or NRA annual meeting, or it's an influencer event, or it's like a public gun show and things like that. Like I pulled elements from all of those different things and smacked them together to create something that is very special for the public. It's currently a 1-day event. It's going to be in Cleveland, Ohio this year on June 28th. Tickets actually go on sale next week. I don't know when this is going out, but they go on sale March 25th at 6 p.m. There are a limited amount of tickets, so grab them if you want them. This year, we're going to have a whole bunch of brands. We're going to have a whole bunch of content creators. We'll be doing those live panels. The ticket includes lunch and a t-shirt from the event, and there is so much more. Like, it's all about community building, right? Like, the vibe of the event when you're there is closer to a neighborhood barbecue than any other event out there. There's just nothing quite like GunCon in the way that it's kind of held together.
Quick question about
yeah.
about
Lay it on me.
quick question. We're gonna and then go back. Are you gonna get the Amish to make the barbecue? I did hear you say that.
Yes. I don't know who's going to make the food this year. We're going to bring in probably like 8 to 10 food trucks to make sure everybody gets fed.
Some tacos. Hope some taco trucks gonna be there.
Tacos, fucking sushi, Greek. I don't know what the fuck we're getting, but that's going to happen. The idea is just to make sure that it's easy for everyone to have a good time. That's really my job, is to make sure that everyone that comes to GunCon can learn something, can see some cool new products, maybe stuff that's brand new being released at GunCon, and meet some of their favorite content creators out there of all types and sizes. Like I recognize that there is not this weird thing where like that guy has 1 million, so he's way better than somebody that has like 1,000 followers. And I think that's kind of unfair because a lot of guys with less followers are hustling harder than some of the bigger guys. And I think that's very important. So I try to make sure that the people that do come to GunCon are, one, good people and safe with firearms. You know, that's very important. And aren't going to fuck over the brands. Like I actively try to make sure that happens. And, you know, we just try it. Like, that's kind of it, you know? If there's good, consistent content, that's all that I care about at the core.
You know, one thing I was talking about, because I've been to SHOT Show like a bunch of times. I had a couple crews from Michigan that go out there and had booths. And I went down there. Well, I didn't go down there with them, but I was down there helping them out or whatever. And I was just like, man, and y'all probably were doing this stuff before I knew about it. Like I said, when I got into it, I was searching. I came up through the tactical training world. I was, training junkie. Then I got into competition shooting. So I came up through that world, and it wasn't a lot of people that looked like me that trained, that did whatever. But a lot of the crews that I came up with were great. Like MDFI, Tricky
Trek is great, man.
You know Tricky Trek?
I don't know Eric very well. I know of him. We met years and years ago.
Yeah,
he was always a good dude. I love what he represents.
Yep. So that was kind of like, I started with them. That's like my discipline, my base, and then I got into the homeboy DMI performance and got some of my performance. But I'm just saying that to say that when I went to SHOT Show, I thought that a more intimate setting would probably benefit like people that, because you go to SHOT Show, you can't really talk, or they there to sell guns. It's a whole different feel. And I think like things like this events are a little bit more intimate and more community based, and we can just sit around, have fun, kick it, and you're not being looked at all weird, like, why are you here? Let me check your badge out, or this, that, and the other. That's the kind of feel I got at SHOT Show. They're like, okay, well, who you represent? Why are you here? I'm just like, man, hey, I like guns. I'm an enthusiast. Hey, so I'm a consumer. I want to buy something. You know what I'm saying? But I think like GunCon like this is something that's definitely needed. I'm mad that I haven't been to all of them really, but it is what it is. I'm here now, so.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. And when you talk about the badges, I handle badges a little differently with the knowledge of what you were just talking about. So, what happens at trade shows, and this doesn't matter what industry you're in, but this at SHOT and NRA, people will walk up to you and then immediately look you in the chest, not your eyes. They look at your chest and check you out. They read your name and who you're with to see if you're worth talking to, or try and validate their feelings about who you may or may not be. So when you come to GunCon, even like the attendees, they all get badges that they can take home. That's part of it. But the attendee will say something, and then yours will say creator on it. It does not have your name, because I don't do. I thought this was one of the weirdest things ever. Like, why are we not trying to have conversation? So at GunCon, there are no names, so that when you walk up, you're forced to go, "Hey, what's your name, man? What do you do?"
You creating conversation through. Hey, I get it. Hey, I'm with you. I thought that was the way you explained it, genius, and just the word community. And it seemed like if you wasn't in this world and I met you, we can just sit down and kick it and have fun. And that's,
That's
seemed
right.
like a cool dude. So and when I seen it, I was just like, man, you kept saying community. Everything I seen about GunCon was about community. That's the word that kept sticking out to me. And just the atmosphere, the people you're gonna have on the panel. I seen some of them. I know some of them. But I just think it's cool, man. Especially the way you're doing it is different places. And I heard you say it's probably hard to like get the range and the facilities all somewhere close. But I'm so blessed and happy this in Cleveland that I ain't have to jump on a plane. I can just 2 hours. I'm there.
I mean, dude, it's 10 hours closer to my house. 10 hours. I drove every year to Iowa.
Right,
So to not have to drive is fucking wonderful.
right, right.
Wonderful. So
So,
yeah, it's cool. And there's so many more gun people in that region that we can now reach with GunCon. So I'm very excited to like see a bunch of new fresh faces, and hopefully some people that were at previous ones. There's a couple that has been to every single panel and GunCon that I put on. They have been to all of them. Same couple have been to all of
mm.
them. Those guys are amazing.
So as far as content creators, and I heard somebody say, well, you go to brands, do and because since you okay, so give us some game. So since you've been in the game so long, spit
I
that
have.
ism, bro. Spit that ism to me. Since you've been in the game so long, what are some key things that you see content creators doing? You be like, I wouldn't do that, or nah, don't do this, or be like, you know what I'm saying? Because you hear some people try to give you stuff, but it's like, bro, you here. Like you are so here, and you telling me something that probably wouldn't work for me because my followers or whatever is not at that point. So I can't just walk them and say this. So you know what I'm saying? Like just get how do you feel about that? Like, what's your take on that?
I mean, the biggest thing that I think a lot of people fuck up is consistency.
Mm.
You signed up for something, and whether that means you're doing one video a month or one every other week or whatever the hell it is, you have to stay with it. I mean, I can't tell you. I've turned people away from GunCon where they'll reach out for a media badge and they haven't uploaded in a year. Like, no, dude, I'm not going to do that. You need to actually give a shit about creating content.
I was worried about that, but I was like, I got like 10 seasons up there. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I looked into you and I was like, okay, this dude's putting effort in. I can see the effort, and that's what matters. And that consistency gets missed quite often, just in general. And I think brands pick up on that kind of stuff. If you're talking about like what to do with a brand, the thing is be authentic. And if they don't want to fuck with you, then fuck them. You know what I mean? Like there's no reason to support a brand that doesn't also want to support you.
Amen. I wish I had the little sound system and say church, church. You know what I'm saying? I wish I ain't there yet. I wish that little sound say church. Well, yeah, it's consistency is a thing, but social media is weird, man. Because you see, if you upload something, you upload. So I was happy to get 5 people to view something. Now
Right.
it's like, okay, getting, once it's like, ooh, I get 15, now I get 20 or 30 or whatever. But it's kind of like it's an emotional roller coaster. Let's just say it's an emotional roller coaster for me or
Yeah, it
whatever.
absolutely is. Yeah, you're
If you
spot on.
if you
Yeah.
you're right, if you post something, you get 10 views. Dog, YouTube, do you know Instagram? I spent 10 hours putting that shit together. Why you don't like it? You know what I'm saying? And then you throw something on there and it's some bull crap and you do this. I'm just like, man, this shit is crazy. And I
Yeah.
think that's where some people made like it's one of those, it's an emotion roller coaster. Like it's up, it's good, and it's down, it's bad. But if you can just keep putting stuff out there, and people, people will give you some feedback and tell you doing good stuff, and I think that kind of keep me going. Because honestly, I just posted one clip from the podcast that I had with Ken. I had my auntie call me and my mama call me and say, "I'm proud of you." And I was like, "What you talking about?" And I was like, "Man, we seen that clip you put out about me and about mental health, because he was talking about losing his father, and I lost my father. So we kind of connected on that level with that. But he lost his father years ago. But he had said something within that conversation. He had said something he posted on Instagram a long time ago that just stuck with me. And he was like, "Man, that must have meant a lot to you because you brung it up." And I was like, "Man, hey." I was going through the same thing, so I understood what he was saying. But just that feedback from my mom and my auntie told me, like they called me as soon as they seen it from church. They like 2 steps out of church, and then they called me and said that, and I was like, okay, it's cool. It's, you know what I'm saying. It's that was a, like a pick me up. But I
Right.
just think
And
some,
that points to being authentically yourself,
yeah.
like representing yourself well on the internet and being who you are. That's all positive stuff.
And one thing it's funny. I jumped into YouTube, and sometimes I be talking to people, and I don't know about all the because I know you had a certain issue you had with YouTube. You posted a video, and I guess
I
they
mean, I've
took it
had
down.
many issues with YouTube.
Right. And I was just like, man, I was like, bro, I need to look at all the stuff you can do or can do on YouTube. I didn't even look at that shit. I just jumped on
Oh yeah,
YouTube.
you should definitely know
Hey,
where the boundaries are. Yeah.
yeah, I know the boundary, but I guess I haven't been hit. I really, I know doing live shows on certain things you can't post. So all my shows are pre-recorded. So
Right.
I had a couple things that the homie said, hey, you may need to check this out because you may be, riding in line or whatever. Pause of that. So, but but just get back to it. I think like the GunCon was a good thing, man. Especially because you got how many companies are coming?
We've got almost 30-ish signed up now. We'll probably be like 50, 60 when all's said and done. Something like that. I mean, last year, that's about what we had.
Mm.
We'll probably do that again. It's a whole bunch, and it's all kinds of brands. We've got this year we've got some retailers. That's a new thing because previously we were at Brownells, so we didn't really involve outside retailers. That's kind of a dick move to put their competition in their warehouse. So this year we're opening it up a little bit more. We've got some brands that have never been to GunCon before that are taking part, which is fucking awesome. Seeing the impact that is being made is really, really crazy. It's wild. I got a call from Bull Armory, and if you're not familiar with Bull Armory, they make some incredible 2011
Oh,
style double stack 1911 style guns.
that's a
And
question. I got a question about that. I'm sorry.
okay,
I do
so
got a question about that, but go ahead.
um, they released something new. They unveiled something new at GunCon last year, and it was unreal. The amount of talk about that gun that they released was wild. And he called me, I don't know, like a week ago, and he's like, "Hey, I can't tell you what it is yet, but we are working on something new that we might be able to bring to GunCon." And I went, "Listen, whatever you bring, I'm there to support. They've had my back for a while, and it's incredible to see stuff like that happening." And there were other brands that released a bunch of new stuff and things. Those guys brought some new stuff. Every year we see new and interesting products being shown off, and it's exciting to kind of be able to be a part of that.
So why do you think that? I know you had mentioned something about the NRA. Why do you think they kind of like didn't put push or put like funding into this to make it, to help you out or whatever? I mentioned,
Oh,
I think.
because they're a bag of shit.
Okay, there it is. It said they
Fuck
went,
them.
it went up.
I mean, I had on my podcast, I had the second VP of the NRA. His name's Mark Vaughn. Mark's a decent guy, like he's not an asshole. But the organization is run by people that are so far out of touch with real gun owners, and they have lost their way. The board is oversized, it's completely bloated with people that don't know what real gun owners want and need, and the organization continues to spiral the drain. So it sucks. It's funny. I'll tell you a story. So there's actually video of this, but in 2016, the NRA annual meeting was in Atlanta, and we did. So I had the TGC panel year prior, and they said, "Hey, we want you to do it in the convention center. We're going to give you space, and you can do it inside." And I went, "Oh my gosh, this is incredible! They're getting behind this. This is a big deal." We had standing room only. It was like 700 people in the room, which was at the time just bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. All kinds of high profile content creators. And at the time, my friend Adam Kraut was running for a spot on the NRA board. And they, like, while we're having this thing, we're broadcasting live, all kinds of cool stuff, giving away mountains of stuff. They said that we were they said that we were giving stuff away to get votes for Adam, which was totally unrelated. The secretary of the NRA came storming into the room, got up on a microphone and said, "You have to stop right now." And it's like screaming at all of us while we're live on the internet. I mean, it was unreal. And that showed us exactly where they stood as an organization. And then, it turns out they were embezzling a bunch of money and doing a bunch of shady shit, and now they're suffering the consequences.
Yeah. I heard a couple of stories. I heard there was in some restructuring.
Most of them were probably true.
I heard, yeah. Then there's words like, "Well, we in restructuring mode. They're doing different stuff.
Yeah.
It's a good time to jump on and do this and that." But in my community, they kind of like, they weren't really messing. My community wasn't really messing with them like that. It was just
Yeah, they don't
needed.
fuck with you guys.
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck, man? They
they
don't
were
give
just
a
like, "Hey,
shit.
we need a NRA. If you want to be a CP on the structure, you gotta do that shit." Now,
See, here's the fucked up part. They are, if there is any involvement with the black gun community, it's to check a box. It's not to actually give a shit.
True.
That's the problem. Like, people in that organization, I'm not saying they're racist or anything. I'm just saying they don't actually give a shit about gun owners of any type, let alone somebody that is a growing community.
Right.
It's pandering bullshit. They need to actually start caring again, and then maybe it'll get fixed.
Well, it was a lot of certain things that happened in the community, and it wasn't. Things happen, and there wasn't no conversation or talk about it from different sides. But that's
Right.
another conversation, another story. But yeah, man. Like I said, I'm stoked to be there because I'm there.
Good.
I'm stoked to be there at GunCon as one of the media guys there. However that play out, whatever I do, hope I'm just not walking around looking at people. I'm not I'm not a celebrity dude like, "Oh, I'm gonna run up to that dude and shake his hand," but I may do that here. You know what I'm saying? Just because.
Listen, everybody there is, like, I try to set the tone where everybody is relaxed, having a good time, and you can just go say hi to anybody. That's what this is about, is like, nobody is on this like untouchable level. Everybody's cool. They're, we all fuck with each other and talk shit, but that's kind of how I am as a person. So it's like a reflection. And that's why I say it's kind of like a neighborhood barbecue.
Bro.
Something that you might give a shit about is we're doing a podcast room for the first time ever, where we're going to have a podcast set up in the room, and you can just like sign up. I haven't sent the sheet out yet, but I'm going to have people sign up to, like, have a time slot to go record a podcast at GunCon.
You know what's funny? Because I was presented. So I know they do that at SHOT Show. They call it something alley, whatever.
Yeah, they call that broadcaster alley or radio row or whatever the hell
Radio
it is.
Row. So I heard that the NRA is doing it, and they were looking for people. And I had asked Aaron this, and I was like, "Bro, you think John and them are gonna do that at GunCon?" I said it would be a good idea. And it's funny because I was just thinking that I was like, are they gonna do that? Because I seen it like, look,
Well,
it's
the
100 content
difference
creators
is
come in and this and that. I was like, man, I wonder if he's gonna have a spot where podcasters can jump on and actually kick it with people.
right. Well, the difference is that at SHOT, I don't know about NRA, but at SHOT Show, you have to bring your own gear. Like you
Hmm.
get a spot, but like you're on your own. Whereas with us, I'm going to give you an opportunity to just sit down and record.
Mm,
Like you
mm.
bring your own SD cards and whatever. But thanks to XS Sites, we have that space, and we're going to be able to put some good gear in there. Make sure the audio is clean. Make sure the video is good, and we're going to have it's basically plug and play. You just need to plug yourself in and some cards. That's it.
Wow. So, and then we can just set up our interviews. How is that gonna work? Do we like go
So
and talk to people?
I'm gonna put out a sheet with like blocks, and people will be able to sign up for a block of time. I don't know what kind of. This is the first time we've done it, so I'm not sure how much demand there will be for that space. So I may limit people to like a half an hour or an hour. I'm not sure, so that more people can have an opportunity to use the space. But yeah,
So
that's
let me ask you this: is this the first time you spoke of that on my show?
yeah, that's first time.
Hey, see, first I wish boo 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 boo. I wish I
Exclusive, exclusive. Hit the
exclusive.
thing.
60 seconds, 60 seconds, 60 seconds, 60 seconds.
60 motherfucking second gun news.
There you go. That's first time on pop culture. That's what I'm talking about. That's dope, man. I don't know how the NRA is doing it. Somebody reached out to me and said, look
Sure.
into
Yeah.
this. I just looked into it. Like I said, I'm kind of new into the space of media
That's
and
all
getting
right.
all the
Yeah.
credentials and stuff. So that's definitely dope. Now I'm like, oh man, just bring my SD card and my little stuff, and we out there rolling. Now, cause since I haven't been to a gun, so so there's gonna be opportunities to walk around and talk to different brands and
Oh,
have.
sure.
So what's the night shoot about? I seen that and I was like, ooh,
So
do
that
I
is
want?
something that is so we have GunCon is kind of two-sided, right? Like there is a public side, and that happens on the 28th. And then we also have some industry events. And for the first time ever, we're doing a night shoot. It is going to be very small. It is going to be limited attendance. That's only going to be panelists. Those are the only people that are getting invited in terms of content creators, and like 10 or fewer brands will be there because we want it to be safe. And it's the first time we're doing that. So we want to make sure that it goes off without a hitch and people have a good time and get value out of it. But that's a new thing we're trying. And then we of course have our big media range day the day after that. And we also feed all the content creators as well. Like that's a big deal to me, is to make sure that like when you show up, you're not like, shit, I got to leave and go get food. It's no. Like we provide lunch on range day. We also provide dinner. We're going to make sure we have a big catered dinner. And on Saturday, the show day, everybody gets lunch. The attendees get lunch. The brand gets lunch. Everybody gets lunch on
So
us.
so what day? So it's one day, but I think it's what days are we supposed to be down there? How does that work?
So content creators will show up a couple days early
Okay,
um, because there's a welcome event
okay,
on it's the Thursday before,
right,
and then the Friday is our media only range day, and then
correct.
Saturday is a big public day.
Hmm.
And yeah, so showing up a couple days early is in your best interest.
No, I'm hey, let me just say that it must have been a blessing. The man upstairs was looking because I'm off that week and I didn't even pick that week to be off. I just put it on and said I'm gonna take this off in June. And he sent it to me and I looked, I was like, hell yeah, I'm off. I ain't gotta worry.
I'm off.
I ain't gotta worry about calling in sick. Straight no,
Ain't
I
nobody
said
gonna
that.
tell me shit.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me shit. I'm going. But yeah, man. So let me
Wait
ask you
till
this.
I get my money right.
Hey, I'm there. So, since you've been creating all this stuff and you've been in the game, what do you think about somebody? Because this is like the bull armory question. What do you think about staccatos? You think they just overprice guns, or you just like? What's your feedback about staccatos?
I have a Staccato. I have one. It's
You
a
said
great gun.
right.
It's a great gun. The Bull Armory delivers more value for the dollar, but that does not make the Staccato a shitty gun. It's still a great gun. I just think the Bull provides a little bit more value for the dollar. I think some of the Staccato guns are fucking way overpriced.
I hear
But,
that people are
they're
trade.
not bad. They're not bad. They're just expensive.
I hear, from some. Well, they saying people are selling their Staccato P's to try to get their hands on them new HDs because I'm assuming
Sure.
for the Glock mags, but
Yeah.
The XC is probably the baddest one I have shot.
Sure.
As far as the Staccatos go, but I heard about Bull Armory before. I think I was gonna buy a Bull Armory a long time ago, but what's the MSRP? Like, what's the price of Bull Armory? Like, what?
It depends on which one you're looking at. I've got one. You can't really see it in this shot. I've got one right over my shoulder.
There you
This gun right here, that's a Bull Armory. That
go.
is the TAC Pro.
Okay.
That's a 5-inch barrel. It's ported. It's got 8 holes in the barrel, and it is amazing. Like, top tier, amazing. Great gun. One of the best pistols I've ever fired. And I believe the MSRP on that one is, I want to say $28.50? Question mark.
Can we say that it costs a couple dollars? Let's say
It's not cheap. No,
Right.
no, not cheap.
It costs a couple dollars.
It may be. Let me look at their website real quick. I'm gonna pull that shit up because I swear to you, their stuff is, in that style of gun. It's just so freaking good.
So you get more bang for the buck, is what you're saying.
Correct. Yeah. Sorry, I was off. It's $24.50 is MSRP on that gun. So $2,500.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
They my buddy was telling me about and I want to ask you about it. What is it called? It's the Mac 9. Dude, you understand? You up on them?
The Military Armament Corporation.
Yeah, tell me about that.
I have one of those coming. I have yet to shoot it. I've heard good things. I've also heard good things about the TSOS double stack 1911.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I haven't shot either one of them yet, but I've heard good things.
It seemed like everybody went down to 2011. Like, I hear Taurus is making a 2011. Yeah, I know I was gonna get a chuckle. I don't know how true that is. I heard that. I was just like, man, everybody's making 2011. It doesn't need to be
great.
like that.
They're great. I agree. It doesn't need to be like that, but they're great guns. They're a lot of fun to shoot, and if it's a good one, cool. That is like top tier pistol shooting experience. You get a great trigger, you get high capacity, and you get easy on the recoil. What's to hate about that?
Right. I like to shoot my MMPs. I like some more of the polymers, like the 5 inches. I got a competitor I shoot. I kind of like that gun. My buddy got a Glock 34 that he tricked out, and I swear to you, that's a smooth ass shooting gun, and it's almost like, I mean, I know. Well, you pay, basically he probably paid for it to shoot like, not like a Staccato, but shoot it smooth. So once you pay that price, you get in a Staccato. You ain't really got to do nothing to it. To me, you do something that trigger too much, it get a little dangerous. But that's just
my Staccato is actually at Monsoon Tactical right now.
Big boy, yeah. I gotta get something to him just to see.
He's doing the GMGK modification, which is like a tiny little port and a comp. Because I had a Staccato P, which is not ported or comped or whatever, so I had Vinny kind of do it up for me.
Okay. But, is he gonna be there? Is he coming?
Yeah. I mean, I hope so. He says he's coming.
Right. Yeah. I like I said, it's like, what's the one person in the game that you was like, hey, I need, like, I was like, I'm a celebrity whore on this one. Like, that's the dude I wanted to shake his hand and meet.
Oh my God. All right. I got a story for you.
There you go. Story time, everybody. Let's sit back.
So 2013 is my first ever SHOT Show. And I'm walking around. I was an absolute mess. I was a mess. I did not know what to do. I didn't know who to talk to, how to talk to them. I didn't know anything. I was working at a gun store at the time. I didn't have a channel that was like big or anything. Like, I did not know what the fuck I was doing. So, and this is before TGC existed. I don't know why it's doing the thumbs up, but
You got
that's
the that's the
good old
yeah.
Apple product. So I walk by the Barrett booth and I see the man, the myth, the legend, Ronnie Barrett, and I go, "Oh fuck, that's the guy that changed warfare." And I look at him and I'm just staring. I'm like waiting for him to like break free. And at this point, I have no experience at shows. I have no understanding of how to approach somebody. And he looks at me and he sees me kind of like hovering. And he's like, "Hey, were you waiting on me?" And I said, "Yes. I'm so sorry. I just wanted to say hi." I was like, "I love your product so much. I don't really have anything to say. I just wanted to shake your hand." And I was like a kid, you know what I mean? It fucked me up a little bit. But I mean, it's a story because that was I still like the Barrett M82A1 is still a bucket list gun for me. I don't own one currently, and I would love to.
Oh man, they had one up at
It's
my
such a
gun store.
visceral experience to shoot one.
The gun store I'm always at and I help work. You know, I work there sometime part time. They got a Barrett. I think that's MA2 with a suppressor on the end of it. And I said that
Is
thing
it?
look.
Do you know what the shape of the muzzle brake is?
It looked like a damn truck axle. I can tell you that. It's
It
it's
might be a 107. The
it's a
107s are
it's a
the
it looked like a
updated
damn
version.
truck. I swear to you, I was like, man, who would? Because they sell a lot of Barretts at the store, but I think
Mhm.
they let me mistake. It was like the 308 one or whatever. I'm not up on it, but this is the
Okay.
first real one they had there. They sell a lot of those, but this is the first Barrett that the real deal boy that they had there. And it's still there, with a suppressor on the end of it.
Yeah,
I
because
said,
it's 10
Jesus,
grand,
yeah. I'm like,
maybe 12, depending on which one it
I
is.
think they told me it's 12. I
Yeah.
think they said
So it's
12.
probably a 107.
Yeah, they sell a lot of. They got some high end big boy toys over there. At Uncoiled. Shout out to Uncoiled. They got some big boy toys there, but you know, when you go to GunCon and you see what GunCon is, do you feel like GunCon is going to be like the staple to like content creators can come and learn new techniques, new moves, talk to new people? Because it seems like we got to fight the algorithms, the media and all that. Do you feel like GunCon is that safe place that we can come and be ourselves and create and get good content?
I would like to think that it is one of the places that can be done. You know, I try not to be arrogant and be like, yeah, it's the one. You know, I've been very fortunate that some people have said it's the best gun event out there, which is fucking amazing considering I'm, being compared to some of the biggest out there. I would like for it to continue to be a great space to foster relationships and community. And I think as long as I have that in mind, we will continue to grow and evolve in a healthy way and not just be a thing that tries to soak up money and, become the thing that I hate. Like for example, brands, I tell them not to bring their trade show booth, for like NRA or whatever. I tell them not to bring it. They have a very, very low key setup. It's just a table and some chairs, and they set up a background. They're welcome to set it up how they want, but they have very limited space because I don't want trade show bullshit. It's a waste of fucking money. It's a waste of effort.
So let me ask you that: since the way you approach that, what's the feedback from brands? Like, do they like coming? They like, oh man,
They love it.
this shit was awesome. It's not
They
like
love it.
trade shows. It's not like this. It's not like that. Because I mean,
They enjoy it because it's not that bullshit. Because it is an opportunity to meet people like you and like Aaron and all the other creators that they may not have an opportunity to talk with. They may not have the time to go find the guys like you, and just being under that same roof, they get to meet all kinds of great people that are actively interested in their brand and want to hustle and build relationships. Like
so
that's what the fuck this is for.
it's about the people in the community.
Right.
And
And when it comes to the public, it's the same thing. Like I had a comment last year. One of these guys that has been in the industry for a long time, 15, 20 years. Guy's been around forever. He came to me and he said, "These people are different." And I went, "What do you mean?" Like, I was kind of worried. I was like, "Is that a good thing or a bad thing?" And he said, "The people that come to GunCon are engaged. They are a different type of person that goes than, they may see at NRA or other events, because one, we don't like you kind of have to be an enthusiast to even know about GunCon right now. You have to kind of be an enthusiast to find out about it. And the people that want to be there and spend the money to be there are engaged. They don't just go, "Well, that's kind of cool," and then that's it. They go, "Well, how did you make that?" They start to ask intelligent questions and engage in a way that's completely different. Like, those are the kinds of people that I want at this fucking thing. I want the people that actually give a shit about its success from every angle. I want everybody thinking that way to make this thing work. So far, it has worked. So far.
he said so far, because it just seemed like some of the companies are only for the big ticket, like the military, the LE contracts, and they
Oh, sure,
really,
yeah.
you know what I'm
Some
saying?
companies are fucking stupid. Yeah.
Right, and it's like, man, I purchase stuff. The homies just purchased a LMT, a LMT,
LMT has been at GunCon the past 3 years. They
and
they aren't able to make it this year, but LMT has supported that for a while, and there are other big companies that do understand it like that, but they don't necessarily do a lot with creators. But
right.
they'll still come to GunCon to have that outreach and those connections, which is
Right,
great.
right. Just to see their face and see the people, that come around. But like I said, we consumers, so whatever they put out, we gonna consume. If we see a cool video or somebody we watch on Instagram, 9 out of 10, somebody gonna go to the store and buy that, right? So it's like, you can't forget about us. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? We gotta,
Right?
you know, and I'm hoping that's definitely what sounds like GunCon is definitely gonna be. I got some homies that's coming that's probably gonna buy tickets. I'm just going to say
Fuck
I'm
yeah.
apologize for them right now because he like to walk around and touch everything. He
I
loves
mean,
he's
I have no problem with that.
he's a gun guy for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely. But let me ask you this: what's your take on the SIG issue? Like
Oh,
what
fuck. Oh,
what's your
Jesus.
take on it? I just keep it. I mean, you don't have to keep it short, but why don't you think they want to fix that? And like,
Well, they say there is no issue to fix. That's the problem. And I talked about it. I just recorded a little bit before we're recording this. I recorded TGC News for this week and mentioned that this is it's not a good situation for them. They cannot win by starting to sort of argue with people and fight people in the comments, and this idea that they are infallible and the 320 is perfect is when there's all this other stuff going on. They could have gone about this a much different way, instead of like stomping their feet and saying, no, we're right. And now they can't go backwards and say, "Oh, we were wrong." They can't do that because then they look like absolute idiots. But they also shouldn't continue, making all these claims like it's the best thing that's ever happened to guns, because that's not true. It is, like, I have one. It's never caused me any problems, but that doesn't mean they're all infallible. I don't know. I think it's a fucking weird situation, and I'm kind of getting sick of it. Like, it's been going on for fucking years now, and it just happened to peak up, right now, this past week. Like, I don't
right.
know.
So you think that lawsuit sets a precedent in the? Well, I guess they could always
I
get
mean,
sued,
they've
but
been sued like 6 times over that gun.
right,
Maybe more. I don't know. I mean, they've settled a couple cases, and like, I don't know every bit of information. There is a documentary, and I covered this on TGC News this past week. There's a guy on YouTube called Protraband,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a like 2 hour or something documentary breaking down why the gun is fundamentally flawed and what Sig is saying is a lie. I do not have the attention span to sit down for 2 fucking hours, even an hour, and watch a fucking documentary about a gun. Like, no thanks. That sounds fucking boring. But it does exist, and a lot of people have said it's pretty damning. So
It's kind of
I got
like,
that going for him.
well, so a lot of people come in by the P365 is kind of like the next EDC, and they come into the firearm store and they're like, "What about the P320?" I'm like, "Don't do it." Like,
The
don't
365 is great.
yeah,
It's great.
like don't do it. It's kind of like now it's like, oh man, because if you hear something wrong with something, you just gonna throw it in the back. So I'm not gonna even mess with
Right.
that no more.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is with them. Um, Another question. Uh, so
Another answer.
another answer. There you go. Um, and that threw me off with that. The
I fucked you up,
yeah, you did.
dude. My favorite thing when having conversations at events and stuff is to just fuck with people.
It's funny because when you was talking, when you mentioned when you create the content, do you set up a schedule? Like, what's some creative things that you would do? Like I'm gonna talk about this now, set it up, and then go out and just record, or do you start doing research, or you just start looking up the little news feeds and say, look, I'm gonna talk about this, or I'm gonna talk about that, or do you just like have a calendar of content, like I want to talk about this on this day or that day? How do
Oh
you set
no,
that
no,
up?
no, 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 no. It's every week I go out, usually on Saturdays. At least for right now, that may change in the future. But on Saturdays, I'm usually just scouring the internet looking
Mm.
for interesting stories that I haven't covered yet. I try not to cover things more than once. Um, so I'll gather stories and then I will write a script. All the episodes of TGC News are scripted, regardless. Even the fucking jokes are scripted.
Mm.
Uh, I still laugh at them. Like, it's still genuinely my words because, 10 years in, I know how to write a script that is exactly how I speak. So it comes across very, very natural, and I've spent a lot of time working on making it sound not scripted or look not scripted.
So it sound
Uh,
more like what you would
yeah,
say and
correct. Yeah, yeah.
everything.
So it's um, I have something to follow, and it's still me being a jackass on the internet. And I literally about I don't know an inch from where I'm sitting is where I stand to film using this same camera. So I'll write it, I'll do the script, and then I'll come down here, turn everything on, all the lights come on, and I film, and then send it off to my editor. Thankfully, I have an editor because holy shit, I got tired of doing that. I
Tell me
used to do
about
it
it.
all myself. I mean, there
Tell,
was a couple years when I did TGC all by myself.
yeah, I'm a one man band over here.
Yeah, I remember that day. Like, I mean, before that, I had my old channel. I was doing that for like 3 or 4 years by myself.
Right,
And then I was like, okay, thankfully, I have enough income to be able to pay somebody a good living to help me.
right. It take a team. I was told that it definitely take a team.
Yeah, the team is two of us.
Right. Hey, it's more than me.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
far as this is concerned, it's definitely
Sure.
more than me. Because I'm always look. Do you care about jumping on the next hottest like topic? Like, do you care about getting it out fast, or you just like, look, I'm
It's
just gonna take
exhausting to try and do that.
man.
I've tried, and it's
Amen.
just fucking exhausting to try and be in front of everything. That's just not. I mean, we have the news. The news is on a pretty consistent schedule. It releases on Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern, and that's when my take on something is going to come out. And if I'm in front of it, cool. If I'm not in front of it, also fine. Our reviews lag behind all the time, like just all the time. So, it is what it is, man. I'm not chasing that drug of being first is dangerous. And I see guys burn out real fucking fast, especially the guys that do political stuff. Those guys are always chasing that shit. And I've seen a bunch of them just get shit wrong by trying to be first and not waiting for all the stuff. You know, I don't know. I just it's just not my thing. It's exhausting with the way I'm trying to do content now between multiple channels, different shows, like trying to do gun reviews. We've brought back a Second Amendment show here on TGC, and the news plus GunCon plus the van and all the other bullshit, just daily life. Like, I'm fucking tired. So
Hey,
trying to be first all the time is fucking shitty. That
I pre-
sucks.
I appreciate you coming on, bro. I appreciate us making this happen because he's like, man, I'm
Well, yeah,
exhausted.
man. You know, you're helping me, and I want to support the people that support me.
Right, definitely. And I guess that's something I trying to figure out the strategy in that. Trying to be first with content, or just be like, this is a topic new. I need to go down there and say something. But I'm just like, something may happen, life may happen, whatever, family,
Yeah,
whatever, whatever.
just do what you can when you can,
Right.
and try and be consistent in that.
And I like this kind of like this new setup because we usually record from a studio, but sometimes sometimes we're doing remote interviews.
Yeah,
Like you called me, I was out, doing something for my son, doing whatever, and I was like, okay, just give me an hour, I get back. So the studio set up, I go down and plug up, boom, and I'm rolling, and then I
that's the
can
way.
catch an interview when I might have to push it out, and things happen. So it's cool to have this interview done, and trying to be consistent with the content. So that's something I'm like working to keep up. Um,
Yeah.
do you Let me ask you this: do you see more your growth if you like? Some people say the strategy is put 2 videos up on this, and this. Like, what's your I don't know if you want to give it away, but like, what's your strategy to uploading content? Do you try to stay like 2 videos on YouTube and this on IG or what? Like, how do y'all figure that out?
Listen, all that shit's bullshit. Nobody knows what the fuck works. Like this idea that there's like a magical formula and that's what does it only works for like the top, 100 creators. Anybody else saying that that's the way to grow is full of shit. Full of shit. It doesn't matter. Just fucking pick a schedule and be consistent. Chasing that kind of stuff is how you burn out. I promise.
Yeah, I can believe that. I can definitely believe
I
that
mean, look,
because
I have done we didn't talk about this, but I've been doing consulting and helping content creators grow since I started the business. And the the thing that people fuck up is all that kind of like, don't get lost in the formula of this and I got to do this video here and that video. Who gives a shit? Do a good video. Start there. Do a fucking good video at a good time. Release the content consistently, make sure it's good, and then fucking worry about all the other bullshit.
you don't think it's some to the thumbnails and a
There's
little bit of
absolutely stuff to the thumbnail. 100%
okay.
thumbnails and titles fucking matter. However, the video also has to be good. It has to be consistent because the thumbnail and title don't matter if you're only releasing a video every 6 fucking months.
Hey man, I'm just gonna throw some girls dancing on there a little bit, and they're probably gonna go through the damn roof. Opposed to me
I mean, you
talking
could try
about.
that. I doubt it'll work. I've seen guys try that kind of shit. It never fucking works.
You know what? I had that in my notes too that you do consulting and all that because I was like, oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll talking about that later or whatever. But it's cool that I mean you got a lot of knowledge and information because you've been in the game so long, so I can just
I fucked up a
imagine.
lot.
Yeah. So
How do
you
you, how
fucked
do you
up.
learn? Right? I fucked up a lot.
So I know the wrong way to do it, and I also know the right because I done fucked up a lot. So that's
Precisely.
cool, man. Um. So look. We about at an hour, man. I don't want to hold you, much longer because I know you had a long, busy day. But just tell people, where they can find you at and all that good stuff
Sure.
about guncon.com, all that. And please email me that stuff so I can put it in the descriptions and so they can get that because I'm gonna be a big supporter of it, especially
Well, I
around my
appreciate that.
area. And look, I might order me a GunCon shirt, start wearing it to the store so people can ask, what is that? Hey, you need to check it out.
Well, you'll
We're
get
cool.
one when you come to the event. You'll get one from this year.
Right.
So the website for TGC is theguncollective.com. You can just punch that into Google and you'll find my stupid face somewhere on the internet. I've been doing it for 10 years, so it's pretty simple to find me. The Gun Collective is on every platform out there. And if you want to, if you're interested in GunCon, the website is guncon.net, because somebody tried to charge me $12,000 for guncon.com, and I said, fuck you. So guncon.net is where you can get tickets. You can find out more information. We're updating the website all the time. So please stay tuned. Again, tickets go on sale March 25th at 6 p.m. Eastern. I would appreciate seeing you guys there. Hey, man, thank you for having me on this fucking show. I appreciate that.
Oh man, shit. Thanks for, like I said, we talked about it a little bit in the beginning. Thanks for coming on. Like I said, I'm out here just grinding, trying to catch them, get them numbers up, man. And like I said,
I see you. I see you.
Appreciate you coming on the show, man. Appreciate, like I said, I definitely appreciate it. Even the emails so we was emailing good, and then all of a sudden it fell off. I'm like, dang, what did I say? I was like,
I just disappeared, dude.
he just disappeared.
So
So I was like, you know what?
busy,
I'm gonna be proactive. I'm gonna
That's smart.
send another email and say, hey, just
Mm-hmm.
a follow up. I was like, because I don't never do that. I was like, hey,
And what
he
did I
must have
say?
something.
Oh, shit.
I was like, maybe he got something to do. I mean, I know life happens, whatever. So let me be a little bit more proactive, because I really want to interview Jon and kick it with him. And I was like, let me send this other email, and then you send it back. I was like, all right, bet, we still on, bet. So, like I said, I'm glad you're coming on the show, man. Look, if you like the show, like everything we're doing, please hit that like and subscribe button at the bottom. Let me go here and do this. Look, so if you like the show, you love what we're doing, please hit that like and subscribe button at the bottom.
You not just please, like actually fucking do it, because it matters. That's
you hear
the
what
way.
he said, everybody?
Like, this shit matters. Support your boy. Hit the like button. Leave a damn comment. Talk some shit if you have to, and subscribe. It all helps.
Hey, I can't say it no better than that. So look, game recognize game. We recognize you, so please recognize us. And I'm out. We out.
Peace. We out.
Hey, Jon, let me ask you this quick question. If you had
Hi.
to sing a song from your choir days, what song will it be?
May the road rise to meet you.
I don't even know that song, but it is what it is. We out.
Bye.